Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to Bluegrass Home and Garden TV. Well, we are getting festive around here. Hopefully you've enjoyed the last several shows where we have taken some little tomato cages and made some holiday decorations. Well, now we're of course going to transition over into everything Christmas and red and green and whatever other colors you feel like bringing into the mix. But if you do not have multiple ones of these, you can of course deconstruct the one that maybe you used for Thanksgiving or Halloween and just go from there. So don't feel like you need to have a ton of these unless you're somebody who has a ton of space and doesn't mind just keeping them stored. I do not. So I just literally deconstructed everything off of the one that we made for the fall that I used on my front porch. I actually took the grapevine wreath off. I'm going to work on that next year because you all saw how much of a headache that was for me. It was winning, that's for sure. I was not. But I'm going to start back with this. This is the easiest one. I kid you not. You can do this with tinsel. I actually like using a very cheap, if you have one that you were getting ready to toss, don't. But just one of these garlands, because you can use this to attach so much because it already has built-in wire for you. So I prefer this one, but you could easily do this with tinsel garland, deco mesh. I've seen versions on Pinterest where they did snowman themed ones if you want something that can last, past the holidays. That's a great idea, but we are going to start with this one. I grabbed some supplies that were left over from my main tree in the house. I do a red and navy tree. So these are just some extra pieces I had, little pieces of extra ribbon, and just a few other pieces of greenery that I had. So just in case. And I've got some things over here too that I did not use that if we need to, we will. But we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back here in just a second. This is super easy, quick. Don't miss it. Jimmy McKinney, the skinny, is with us on J&R Construction. Welcome to the laundry room. Maybe your dreams. Yes.
Where everything gets clean and put out. Yeah, this was a existing laundry room. The space was here, but they had an old countertop back here, and it was just, there wasn't a lot of storage and function and things like that. And, having the locker system for the kids and just kind of an entire landing area where, and their kids play sports, so there was all kinds of bags everywhere and things like that. So now they can hide everything and it looks a lot cleaner.
And can we just talk about this wallpaper?
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And it kind of works well going into the fact that, we talked about the kitchen last time. You've got kind of that herringbone look, backsplash in the kitchen. This ties really well into that, and then it ties into the bathroom across. But I love this. This space makes doing laundry
more enjoyable.
Feel like not such of a chore. And I love the fact that you have so much storage and things can be put up. So you can leave this room open. You don't have to close the door because like lots of times laundry rooms are like,
yeah.
Kind of can be an eyesore.
There's enough space in here that you could have added a folding table, but a lot of times that doesn't, you take the laundry basket to the room,
watch
hang
television.
it up where you go.
I mean, my goodness, they could have just put a television on the wall too, but they got enough space in here now, right? I mean, we really could have made it functional and never leave the laundry room, because that's one of those things. The moment you feel like you're done, no, you're not.
Yeah, there's more.
There's another load right there. I can work all day long on laundry and feel like yes, and then I'm like, where did that come from? Under somebody's bed, whatever. So, moms, dads, I feel you. Grandparents, whoever's doing all the laundry. Yeah. I feel you. But this does make it so much more inviting. And I do love the cubbies. And I like the fact that you have them here, but you also have them right around the corner here.
We did. We added them in the hallway here so that they can have their initial landing spot when you come in from the garage as well. Stuff you need every day.
Or maybe like the backpacks, but maybe more sports stuff might go in there because it maybe needs to have a little bit more attention. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Shoes.
So great.
That might be the adults and this is the kids.
Good luck with that. I feel like mine would just get taken over because it always does. But going in, again, this bathroom, love it.
Tied in the wallpaper from both rooms, which also tied in the backsplash. So, I mean, the entire flow.
It just has a great
feng shui
feel
of the house just flows together. There you go,
getting that word in there. And I like the feel of the countertops. That's kind of like that almost leathered feel. But yeah, it's not that high gloss. It's got a little bit more of a matte feel. Works really
And to
well
stay with our
hide
trend,
water.
you know, it is a countertop.
What? Oh gosh. Do y'all remember that? For anybody who watched
Go back and watch a couple episodes.
several shows
She
ago.
asked me what this was, and it's a countertop. I mean,
Thank you, Captain Obvious. And again, you also refinished the floors in here.
we
Transitions
did.
perfect into what we
a
showed last time.
dark floors. Yeah, redid the whole entire first floor, and yeah, it was all part of the whole entire project. Also did the front porch, the banisters of and up the stairs. So
I just know, having done this long and been in so many houses and making some mistakes in my own personal house, the fact that you have a dark countertop in here and it's, you know, it's black, the fact that it's not a high gloss and it's got that kind of leather, yes, just trust me, it hides water spots, it hides a lot. Because otherwise, because I had that high gloss black granite in my master, you know, owner's suite, whatever, bathroom, and every little water droplet showed.
well, and also this is probably the most used bathroom in the house.
Yeah.
You know, everybody,
yeah.
all the guests are here. You know, when you're on the first floor, you're here using this bathroom. So it turned out really well.
Love it. All right, if you're seeing any of this, maybe you just need a laundry, you know, update. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like,
Maybe you just need a half bath.
that's what I need.
Yeah. Give us a call at the office, 859-225-0162, or go online, jrcsi.com.
Thanks for keeping it here. Okay, so this garland just happens to have at both ends this right here. So I'm not going to have to really worry about putting this together because this little loop right here is going to do everything I need it to. I'm going to just bring these together. I'm going to slide this over. Okay, you can see there. I'm going to scoot this over a little bit, and I'm going to start wrapping this around. You can make this as full or as sporadic as you would like. I only want to use the garland that I have, so I'm going to fill it in with other stuff later. So it might be a little bit of trial and error, and I've already got it attached on the bottom, so I'm going to bring it back here. Hold that one in place. You know, honestly, I'm gonna go backwards. See, we don't pretend to have this perfect because I already have it attached at the bottom because this one broke and I kind of had to. I did not want to throw it away, so I kind of salvaged it. I'm gonna start at the bottom and then work my way up, and then I'm gonna go back. I want the base really covered, okay? So I'm gonna bring it all the way to right here. I'm gonna go ahead, use one of my stems, loop that around to anchor that. And then we're gonna start to go up. And this is where it's a little bit of trial and error to, you know, get it the way you want, since I only want to use one garland. But mind you, we're gonna have ribbon, we're gonna have all kinds of other stuff. So we can always fill in gaps that we don't like. And we gotta add all of our lights. So, okay, so not bad, not bad. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and I'm going to connect this really securely where I want it by taking some of these and just wrapping them around. So I'm gonna work on that. We'll be back here in just a few minutes and we'll see how I'm going. The main thing here is take the time to really shape this, just like you would a tree. Get in there, shape it. Then we're gonna go in and add our lights. Then we'll keep going. Stay tuned.
Hi, Richard Weber here out at Springhouse Gardens, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite trees. It's a very common tree here in central Kentucky, but not one that you see planted very often. And there's a number of reasons that you don't see a Kentucky coffee tree more often. It does tend to be a little bit of a bold statement in the landscape, which means that it might not be everyone's cup of tea or coffee, as the case may be. But it is a beautiful, well-adapted tree. This is considered one leaf of a Kentucky coffee tree. It's got one of the largest leaves in the plant kingdom, and this is actually a small one. But this is one leaf that's attached to the stem, and these are many leaflets. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like it, because you get the leaves that fall, but then you end up having these stems, and there's quite a few stems that do fall down on the ground. So it does require a little bit of raking, although the actual leaflets blow away. Another reason you might not see this tree very often is because a lot of people don't like trees that drop anything. And this one, if you are lucky or unlucky, as the case may be, to have a female tree, you will get pods on it about this long and about this wide and about this thick. They're interesting pods. I think they're interesting. That's because I've never had to rake them up. I do pick them up occasionally, but if it's in your front yard, you might not want a female coffee tree. But that's why there have been male varieties that have been adapted. And this is actually, no, this is just a straight species. There's a few that we have, one that's called espresso, which is a male variety, which the males will still flower, they just won't make the fruit. But you need a male tree and a female tree for the females to make the pods. So if you're interested in a coffee tree, look for a male cultivar and you won't get any pods. On the other hand, if you want a pod, you have to find one when they're in bloom or when the pods are ripe, and then you'll know you've got a female. Then you just have to make sure there's a male in the neighborhood to pollinate it. But it is an interesting and fairly fast-growing tree. These will grow up to about 45 to 50 feet. And it is one of my favorites for the very interesting and robust outline in the wintertime. So it's a beautiful silhouette tree, very bold, very stark, but it's a cool tree. Might look for those or come out and see us here at Springhouse Gardens if you're interested in a Kentucky coffee tree for your landscape. So we are here, 185 West Catnip Hill Road in Nicholasville. Look us up online at springhousegardens.com. Until next time.
All right, well, I'm pretty much done shaping for right now. As you can see, I think it's looking pretty good so far. Of course, now we have to add the lights. Now, if you were actually doing something like this for inside, which there's nothing that says you cannot, these lights are obviously not them, but a few years ago, I just happened to order some battery-powered lights that were like little tiny twinkle lights. I did not realize that they synced to the music of whatever was playing. So how cool and how fun would that be if you had this in your house and you had holiday music playing and the lights literally start syncing to the music. So fun. I wish I could find them. I think they're in my office. All right, but we're using regular lights for right now. I'm gonna just start these. I want them really nice and thick around the spirals, but we'll see how far that gets us. And then if we have extra, we might just like literally let them hang in the middle section, because I like it to be pretty bright. And I'm not going to adhere these right now. I'm just going to kind of weave them back and forth into the greenery. If I need to like actually secure them in, I will. But I don't feel like it's going to be necessary, because again, the benefits of using the garland is that you can ultimately use these like little ties or little zip ties, because they're so, moldable, malleable, movable, whatever you want to call it. So, all right, so really quickly, I can go back and fix, actually, we need to go the other way, because I need to go the same way that the garland's going. So I need to go all the way around, and then I need to go up. Couple lights twisted here. Okay, so there we start going up. I keep working on this. But I don't want to stretch these out too thin. I feel like actually, I'm gonna go back a little bit. I feel like I started stretching these out a little too much right here. Want them to lay a little bit thicker. Because from a distance, you're not going to be able to tell this. If you go straight up to it in broad daylight, you're going to be able to see it. But I want it to be looking fabulous for the evening. I'm going to wrap that around a couple times up here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this just fall through the middle. Okay? And I don't know why my tomato cage is bleeding a little bit. There we go. We'll make it work. All right, I like that. Once we start adding other things in, we can hide this a little bit better. For right now, just trying to give you the basic, premise of how to do this. Super easy. Again, we're gonna take a short break. We'll start kind of filling it and making it look all pretty. Stay tuned. Art Hubbard of Hubbard Mechanical is with us. We are talking about the disposals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked several times about them, but I figured, let me show you.
See, I just want to go,
Yeah? You can do that maybe once. No more than
You'll
4
never
times.
do it again.
You're limited. So.
I know. It was interesting because you, before we started, showed me actually what was in there. I was like, oh, so that's what I'm touching when something fell in there, like kids have put a toy in there somehow, and you turn the disposal on, and you were like, something is not right. That noise is not regular. Of course, I let it completely slow down, stop before I stick my hand in there. I do not recommend that. Do not do this at home.
You've got all your fingers, so I believe you.
Yes.
So,
I'm
and
very,
there's no
very
damage.
careful.
So,
No, good.
But it's literally one of the most simplest things that is there. It's just a motor. This is a motor part. Then it has a little shaft that goes to the top piece, and it literally just spins. And once it spins, centrifugal force takes the little teeth and flings them around to chop everything over. So.
Oh, I'll let you do it for good. I thought I knew what I was doing.
It's not that bad. It's just a little tight. You want it to be tight.
This is what shocked me. That amazes me that that's what does all this.
Yep. This spins around, and when this spins, these, if you notice, they are loose on there, and so it allows them just to spin in circles. And as this spins around, these spin around, and it just, all the stuff that goes into the top piece right here comes down, hits these, and around this area, it discharges out of here. And this is for an air gap if you got a dishwasher. You do have to bust this out too if you're changing it yourself, because there's a plug inside there, and if you don't do that, your dishwasher won't dump. So note to self. But that's literally all the garbage disposal is.
Where does it normally have the gunk buildup that we have problems with?
Typically, whenever it's not spinning and it's not chopping as good, these teeth. So when we say put ice down there, the ice just goes down in here, and these just chop it off. And as the ice melts and the hardness of it, it will go there and just take these pieces off. These are not sharp at all. I mean, they're not sharp in the least bit, but they're strong. And that's what chops all your food up. Then it comes out, and a lot of times the gunk will go into here underneath this part right there, and it will go and stop this from spinning so good.
So that's why it's so critical not to put anything that is like pasta down.
100%.
Because you can see now, having actually seen the interior of this, why this could be so bad to put pasta down.
Yeah, it is. It's such a simple thing, but it doesn't take much to mess it up either. So, and all the other laundry list of stuff that we've said time and time again not to put down here. This is not a trash can. No trash can.
All right, but lemon, citrus, all that stuff's probably okay.
Yeah, it is. And then a lot of times you can, if you want, you can put vinegar. It's definitely not going to hurt it. It's going to take some of the smell away, and just kind of let it go there, and it'll break up stuff.
I like the lemons because it kind of helps break up any kind of smell odor, especially. All right, people have questions for you.
Yep, they can give us a call at the office at 859-340-4509.
All right, time to decorate. I have leftover ribbon. I have no idea if this is actually going to be enough or if I'm going to be a little bit shy, but we're going to try it. So I ultimately want the ribbon to go into the places where the garland is not. So I'm going to start up top. I will hide this later, but I'm going to use one of these just to kind of secure it a little bit. This is wired ribbon as well, so that helps. So now let's think. I'm going to go around. Actually, I think I'm going to go this way. I'm going to take it down this way. We'll make it look all pretty here in a little bit. So I'm trying to take it around the places that does not have greenery. This also helps camouflage the tomato cage. Ah, this might just be perfect amount of ribbon. Perfect. I'm just gonna, where this is wired already, I'm just gonna bring it over here, and I will go back and make sure that that's adhered some way, shape, or form to make it stand out a little bit better. Don't want it to be too tight. I want it to be a little bit loose. Shape it a little bit. All right. Then, okay, I know that I'm probably gonna have to kind of like piecemeal this one. I want to layer this red kind of over it a little bit. Same way what we've done here. I'm making a total mess, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. All right. So again, I will cover up all of this at the top later. We'll make it work. But I'm going to start working on the red. I'm going to piecemeal that together. We will be back and see how it goes.
I believe this may be the best pumpkin world and pumpkin year that we've ever had, because we've got fabric pumpkins, we've got carved pumpkins, we've got fancy pumpkins, we've got country pumpkins, and then we've got this. It kind of looks like willow to me, and I think that's absolutely just beautiful. That whole decorating theme with the blue and white Chinese stuff, it's called chinoiserie. Say that one twice. I feel like you can drop this pumpkin down into that and it'll be just beautiful. I really want to work pretty minimal when it comes to decorations, because I think the more work you do, it's just, and then you have to put it away. So I want to create little moments, and so I'm creating a moment with this beautiful new pumpkin, and I'm going to set this on my foyer chest when you come in. And in my house, I have a lot of blue, but then of course, you know, I got to introduce orange for the season. So here's a little swag that we sell a lot of in the store, and look at that. Literally pumpkin and little swag, and that is a moment. So I'm going to show you how to make this swag. I'm going to do a bigger version this time. So literally one pick. I'm doing one of these bittersweet berries, one of these lamb's ear, and one of these blueberries, and that's all I'm doing. And so what I've done with the 1, 1, and 1 is I took the orange berry, cut it in half, put one end to the other, one end. That's all I did. Cut it in half. And look at this. Took the blueberry, see this? Cut it in half, laid it on top of each other, and you're getting the formula, aren't you? Lamb's ear. Cut it in half, and cut it in half. Okay? That's the starting point of our swag. And I've told you before, the zip tie is your friend. So I'm going to lay all this together, and I'm going to zip tie it in the middle, capture all the stems in here, pull it tight. Don't want it to fall apart. Clip it off. Okay. Now that's a really bigger version of this, but let me show it this way. Because when I'm going to put the ribbon on there, I'm going to curl this around, and it's going to sit on the back side of this. See, on the back side, and I'm going to do beautiful ribbon. So I'm going to start to cut our ribbon, and we're going to make a very simple bow. A tail. It's about a yard. I'm going to wrap it around the zip tie in the middle. I'm just tying a little knot. And it's almost like a shoestring in a way. So tail, feeding out a loop. How easy that is. Feeding out a loop. And we're going to do this one more time. There we go. And then we're going to cut it off. Lay it in the middle. Tie this around, so I'm not using any wire, I'm not using any zip ties, nothing. It's literally that. So I want to fluff this up, trim it out. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to show you that beautiful little moment laying around that, and you can sit down on your kitchen island and it looks like you worked really hard and you didn't. So come and see us, 1148 Industry Road or housebysd.com. Thanks.
Thanks for keeping it here. Okay, let's get real for just a second. You know, I don't actually get to see what the finished product looks like half the time until the show actually airs. And let me just tell you, it's a whole lot harder to decorate and do a tree like this when you are doing it without actually doing it from the angle that you need to do it. I'm just saying, I just wanted to throw that out there. So, I feel like it looks good right now, but we'll see. All right, so we're continuing to add. I have these cute little navy hydrangeas. They have a little bit of gold glitter, which makes them super festive and great. I don't want to stick these in. I mean, you could, but I actually, because I only have so many, and these are like from years ago, I am very unlikely going to find more of them, these exact ones anyway. So I'm going to break these up into little pieces. Try and figure out which best way to do this. Let me pull this part out quick. All right, so yeah, I didn't even have to use my clippers. And I'm going to put these in. Now, you can go back again and secure them, or you can actually just kind of like wrap the garland around them again. But right now, we're just going to kind of stick them where I need. This is where I need almost like a mirror. so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of like lay them ideally where I would like them to be. Now see, like this is a little much right here, so I am gonna like clip this a little bit. Trying to not let it just fall into too tiny of pieces. There we go. I'm just kind of tucking them different places. Again, trying to do this, not being in front. This is not the easiest thing, but we are trying to make it work. I just want little pieces, not anything too big. Again, I'm gonna snip this one in half. But I like this, especially if you like to have like a theme, like everything kind of like meshing together. This would be great. Because I would love to have this by my front door, and then people come in and kind of, you know, see that my tree inside all works together with it. Okay, where do we need one? Where do we need one? I'll keep playing around with it. I'm just going to shove this one right here for right now. Place that over that branch. Okay, so it's coming together. I've got some berries, some other things, some extra glitter balls that we might add in here. And we'll be back here in just a few. Wrap it up.
Along with energy costs in the summertime, managing the use of your dryers and your washing during late evening hours or early morning hours when the heat load is less outside can help a lot with your heating and cooling system. Keeping lint filters in your dryers clean will allow them to operate easier and consume less energy. Along with considerations in using the dryer, using the washer in cold water settings will help lower the demand on the water heater. That will lower energy and the heat that comes into the house. Closing utility doors will keep the heat more in those rooms and less affecting the house. These are just a few things that can help the cooling system and your comfort.
I'm just going to add a little bit of touch up here. I've got a few little sprigs of their berries that I'm going to add. And then I can always keep going back and just working it if I need to. I might add a little bit more flour up here. Let's see, got a little bit more here. I think I'm going to actually use this bigger piece here and kind of do it like that. What do we think, guys? What do we think? Yay, nay? I like it. I like it. I'm a fan. It's the Pinterest win. Don't miss our next couple of episodes because Kate Horning with A Healthy Passion is going to be with us, giving us some holiday inspiration in the kitchen. Can't wait. Yummy.